Hello everyone, in this session we'll be learning how exactly we can write the code in order to add the first 10 numbers, okay, or first 10 integers. Okay, let me first explain this code. After that we will execute and see what exactly is the output. Okay, so as already informed in the previous sessions, when you see these instructions, these are nothing but assembler directives, wherein area instructs the assembler directive to create a segment in memory to store this particular instructions. Okay, sum is a random name. Code indicates that this section of whatever data is there, it is nothing but set of instructions and not just values. Read only, because during runtime we don't want any sort of rewrite happening here. Okay, we want this section should be available only to read. Okay, entry indicates from what point onwards the code actually starts. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. The very first line here is move r1 comma hash 10. Okay, now because hash and values are written here, okay, in decimal if you are speaking, then the value 10 should be loaded to the register r1. Okay, the reason we are storing the value 10 is because in this particular code we are trying to add the first 10 numbers. If it was 5, then first 5 numbers, then we had to change this as hash 5. Okay, then we are saying store r2 with the value of 0. Okay, the reason is in the r2 we are storing the sum of all the contents, or sum of all the 10 integers, so its initial value is 0. Okay, so we have used this label called loop here. Okay, because this is the section where we'll be looping continuously to add all the 10 numbers. Okay, let's see what happens here. Initially r2 content is added with r1 and the result is stored in r2. Okay, because we have used the term called add in the instruction. Okay, so what will happen, or what should happen? So initial value of r1 is 10, so it will be added with r2, which is 0, so the result 10 should be stored in r2. Okay, then what we are doing is r1 is subtracted by 1. The reason for that is out of the total 10 numbers, already one number we have added, so this counter value, that is r1, is reduced by 1. Okay, and if you notice here, we can see the initial term called sub, which is subtraction, but there is an additional yes here to indicate that the conditional flags should be updated. So the why exactly we need this is because we want to update the 0 flag of the CPSR. As soon as this r1 content, as the loop continues, what will happen is you have 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 and so on. When all 10 numbers are added, okay, this r1 will finally reach to a value of 0. When that happens, we'll have already updated the 0 flag of CPSR. Okay, and once that happens, next line what it shows is branch if not equal to loop. Here actually this particular branch, what it will check is, it will check the 0 flag. Okay, if it is not equal to 0, then control jumps to this particular statement, and again these set of lines are executed. But if the value is actually 0, then it will jump to the next line. Okay, back, that is back branch to back again. It is nothing but an infinite loop, and then we are ending the code. Okay, so let's take an example of the initial case. Okay, that is 10 will be added with 0, result 10 is stored in r2. Okay, r1 will become 9, correct, So this condition is false, so it will come back here. Okay, so now R2 will already have the previous value, which is 10, which gets added with R1, which is currently 9, and the result will be stored in R2. Okay, again R1 is subtracted by 1, means in this case R1 will be 8. Again it is not equal to 0, so the loop continues until, okay, R1 value actually reaches 0 and this condition becomes false. Okay, now let's actually see this happening, and we'll check the register contents also to see the actual value stored in each case. But one thing we should remember is, when I'm speaking now, I'm speaking in decimal values, like 10 plus 9 is 19 and so on. But in the registers that we'll view soon, you will see all the contents in hexadecimal value. Okay, so let's just start with building it. Okay, there is no error, no warning, so we can go ahead with start stop debug. Okay, so the focus here will be on these contents. Okay, and if you actually add the value from 1 to 10, then the result is actually 55, okay, in decimal, and that result in hexadecimal value is 37. Let's see if we'll get that answer or not. Okay, so 10 is stored in R1, which in hexadecimal is A. Okay, as shown here. Next, what happens is R2 value is 0, so anyhow it's 0, not a problem. And then what we are doing here is we are adding R2 with R1 and storing the result in R2. So because 10 in hexadecimal is A plus 0 is A, so R2 is again A. Okay, now R1 is subtracted by 1, so A minus 1 in hexadecimal is 9. Then see, if you notice here, branch if not equal to 0 to loop, so it is coming back here. Actually even CPSR content is visible here. If you see, Z flag is 0. Okay, so until Z flag becomes 1, this particular loop continues executing. Okay, looping keeps on happening. I'll just keep it like this so that all contents, required contents, are visible: R1, R2 and even Z. Okay, it's under CPSR. Okay, let's see what happens next. Then what we have is, we have added 10 plus 9. Okay, the actual answer in decimal is 19, but in hexadecimal it is 13. Okay, and next what we do is we subtract R1 by 1, so the result is 8. Okay, we'll continue executing the same way. Okay, so as you can see, you will get the value 1B in the next round. Again R1 is subtracted, again the entire procedure repeats. Let's see when exactly it stops. Okay, as of now R1 value is 1. Okay. And finally R1 is now 0. When R1 is 0, we can notice that the Z flag is set as 1. If the Z flag is set as 1, this branching cannot occur, because what is told here is branch if not equal to 0 to loop. Because this condition is false, it will go to the next command. Okay, so here we can see R2 has a final value of 37. Okay, if you find the sum of 1 to 10, okay, if you will get the answer as 55. And how exactly we convert decimal value to hexadecimal, or hexadecimal value to decimal? We got the answer as 37 here. Okay, let's see what is 37. If 37 is the hexadecimal value, okay, how will you convert it to decimal? 3 into 16 plus 7 into 1. Why is that? When you are converting hexadecimal value to decimal value, the first term is multiplied, 16 to the power 0, 1. Second term by 16 to the power 1 is 16. So this is nothing but 48 plus 7, which is nothing but 55. Okay. Thus, we got the correct result for the sum of the first 10 digits or first 10 integers, which is nothing but 55. Okay.